as I'm sure you all know already, the teeth are super important in digestion. They allow us to tear and break down our food into smaller pieces that allows us to then swallow our food, so we can then start the whole process of digestion in our stomachs and also our small and large intestines. So moving on to our human teeth. Throughout our life, we go through two sets of teeth. Firstly, we have our baby teeth, which most of you will have at the moment, and I'm sure some of you have already lost some of your baby teeth. After this, we then have our adult teeth. And here in our adult teeth, we have 32 different teeth, compared to when our baby teeth are in our mouths, in which we only have 20. Now, as humans, we have 4 main different types of teeth in our mouth, and each of these have specific functions. Now, over the next few slides, we are going to be looking in detail at the different types, but I'm sure as you can see from the picture, the 4 different types are our canines, we have our incisors, we have our molars, and also our premolars. So what do we need to write down today? Well, the answer to that question is the following. You need to make sure that you have a piece of paper out, and I would like you to write down the title teeth. And I would also like today's date, which is the 18th of January. In your book shortly, or on your piece of paper, you are going to be drawing a diagram of each tooth type, and then you're going to describe what each tooth is designed for. Use the video that you are watching now and pause it at each tooth so you have time to draw it and write out the information. So first up, we have our incisors, and these are the teeth that are found right at the front of our mouth. As you can see, there is an image of an incisor on the left hand side of the screen, just here. And these incisors are used for biting and cutting our food, hence why they have a relatively sharp shape. Obviously, what you can see right now, the white part is the tooth that you see, the rest of it is what goes into our gums. So I would now like you to pause the video, draw a very brief picture on your notes, and then also write out the 2 bullet points that you see on the right hand side of your screen. Next up, we have our canines. Our canines are found right next to our incisors. Now these are very sharp teeth, and they are used for tearing and piercing our food. Again, as you can see on the left hand side, you can see a diagram of the canine and how pointy and sharp it is, and that is why they are designed so they are very good for tearing and piercing through our food. Now is another good time for you to pause this video, draw out the diagram, and also make sure that you have written down both points. The first, which tells us where the canines are found, and then what they are used for, which is for tearing and piercing our food. And moving on, the next tooth we are going to be looking at are the teeth called premolars. Our premolars are found in between our canines and our molars. They are slightly flatter in shape, as you can see from the diagram on the left hand side, and this is because they are used for grinding and crushing soft food. So again, this is another fantastic time for you to pause the video and give yourself some time to be able to draw out the diagram of the premolar and then write the 2 points mentioned above about the fact that premolars are in between our molars and canines, and also that they are used for grinding and crushing soft food. And now moving on to our 4th and final tooth, we are now looking at the molars. Now, molars are right at the back of our mouths, right next to our premolars. Now, these teeth are also very flat in shape, as you can see, and these are because they are used specifically for grinding and crushing hard food. So unlike before, where the premolars are designed for crushing soft food, the molars at the back of our mouths are used for grinding and crushing hard food. Now is another fantastic time for you to pause this video, draw out the diagram on the left hand side, and also write the 2 sentences about the molars. The fact that they're next to our premolars, at the back of our mouths, and that they are used for grinding and crushing hard food. So on your piece of paper, you will have potentially created something that looks like what is on your screen now, where you have pictures or diagrams of all the different teeth, what they look like, and what they do. So well done for writing some fantastic notes. Now what we're going to do is look at some animal teeth and compare animal teeth to human teeth. The first animal we are going to be looking at today is, of course, our favourite, and it is the carnivore. Now, these are animals that usually eat other animals, so have a think why their teeth might be a little bit different to other animals and their teeth. Because of their diet, they need to have different teeth so they are able to break and chew their food properly. They have, therefore, large canines, teeth to rip into meat, and they also have sharp molars to be able to tear that apart. What I would like you to write down on your notes is the following. It's the sentence in red at the top, so you need to write down these are animals that usually eat other animals, and then I would also like you to write down where my cursor is right now, and that is that they have large canine teeth to rip into meat, and also that they have sharp molars to tear them apart. Those are the 2 bullet points you need to write down, and the sentence in red at the top of your screen. You can pause the video now to make sure that you have some time to write those down. Next up, we have the herbivores, and given by their name, herbivores, these are animals who usually consume just plants. However, we have 2 different types of herbivores, so we have to be careful when looking at their teeth because they have slightly different types of teeth. Group 1 are herbivores such as mice, squirrels, and they do have sharp incisor teeth. Compare that to Group 2, which are animals such as cows and horses who don't have sharp incisor teeth. Now, you'll notice there's a pencil as well in the bottom corner of this slide, so the only sentence you need to write down is the one in red. So I would write down that we have a subtitle of herbivores and that these animals are usually ones that consume plants. So we've mentioned there are 2 different groups, so let's have a look at Group 1. Group 1 are herbivores that do have incisor teeth. So animals such as rodents, as mentioned before, things like squirrels and mice, they have sharp incisor teeth at the front of their mouths for gnawing hard roots, and also for biting into things like seeds. But however, they also have flat molars at the back for then grinding this hard food. I would like you to write down just the writing that is in red, please. So remember to write Group 1 and then write the bullet points that are in red. Again, good time now for you to pause the video so you have some time to write down that information. It's now time to move on to Group 2. So Group 2, as mentioned previously, are those that are animals like horses, deer and sheep. These are the herbivores that mainly eat soft things such as grass. Therefore, there is no need for sharp incisor teeth. They have very large molars and premolars that grind up their food for them. Again, you need to take some notes, but you only need to write down the sentence that is in red. So they have very large molars and premolars that grind up their food for them. Again, this is a fantastic time for you to press the pause button on this video and give yourself some time to write down that sentence. And finally, we have the omnivores. An omnivore refers to animals or humans that eat both plants and animals. Therefore, because they eat both plants and animals, they actually have all types of teeth. So we are very lucky in that way. So, again, another fantastic time for you to pause the video and write down both bullet points in red, please. And finally, once you have written down those 2 bullet points, you have now finished the notes you will need to be taking for today. So well done. Moving on, it is now time to examine your own teeth. Now what you need to do is you need to go to Microsoft Teams and there is a document there or a worksheet labelled your tooth record sheet. I'd like you to print this out if you haven't done so already. Go to your bathroom or anywhere in your house where there is a mirror, stick your tongue out and have a look at which teeth you have. Record your results on the sheet. Take note that it asks you to colour them in using different colours, so if you can, try and make sure that you have some different colouring pencils available to you so you can complete the worksheet as needed. Once you have finished that worksheet, well done. There is also a crossword and word search on Microsoft Teams in the same place. So once you finish that worksheet, have a go at completing both of those and then you are done. Remember, this is only an extension if you have time. If not, do not worry. Thank you very much for listening, Year 4. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on teeth and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Goodbye.